Like the video and subscribe right now, or Centipede Doggo will eat all your vegetables. How much to keep a woman? Monthly. Hair $450. Nails $350. Lashes/waxes $350. Makeup/skincare $250. Clothes/shoes $500. Groceries $500. Eating out $500. Gym membership $200. Car note/gas $500. Vacation fund $350. Phone bill $200. Medical insurance $400. Going out $750. Total $5,300. Men height chart. 5 feet 2 to 5 feet 5. A child. 5 feet 5 to 5 feet 7. Young boy. 5 feet 7 to 5 feet 11. Young man. 6 feet and up. A king. Women weight chart. 100 to 130 pounds. Goddess. 131 to 150 pounds. Queen. 151 to 170 pounds. Whale. 171 to 190 pounds. Mammoth. 190 pounds plus. For Def 150 extended cab 4x4W/proto package. Congrats to the IRS for winning the largest Powerball ever. $2.04 billion Powerball winner takes home $628 million after taxes. So you robbed a guy? CBP officers discovered $33,000 in unreported currency possessed by an Egypt-bound traveler at Washington Dulles International Airport during a baggage examination on November 8th. The traveler verbally reported that he had $20,000. Came to visit the right-wing in-laws for Thanksgiving and got to stay in the American room. Assassin's Creed Odyssey lets you be as gay as you want. This takes place in ancient Greece, right? The Greeks followed religious doctrine, so they would kill somebody for being gay. Therefore, if this series, which prides itself in its historical realism, apart from characters having an impact, is gonna add this, it's wrong. Lol, you think ancient Greece wasn't gay? I know ancient Greece followed Christianity. Porsche owner avoids jail for shooting homeless man who asked her to move car. A Tennessee woman convicted of shooting a homeless man who asked her to move her Porsche in Nashville's iconic Music Row got off without any prison time and was sentenced instead to less than a year of probation. Texas man falls to his death after dancing on top of moving 18-wheeler passing under bridge. Please give me an example of something someone said to you that was so astonishingly stupid that you can never forget it. I wrote an article about poverty on a Native American reservation and someone sent me an article titled 10 Indian Billionaires and said then explain this, and they were all people from India. Video games should have outtakes in the credits that show all the funny bugs and glitches that happened during development. Bethesda lets you experience them in game. Insulin should be free. I'm generating insulin for free inside my body. If you drank less soda and ate less Cheetos, you could do it too. Alpha males eat wings and drink beer at Hooters with the boys. Beta males nibble on tapas at Spanish vegan cafes with their wives. As a former Hooters girl, I can assure you only betas who like to think they were alpha males ate there. And we all laughed when you left. Qatari police confiscated Brazilian flag from Pernambuco state thinking it was from LGBT support. I went for a job interview Zenith Bank last week. One woman from Human Resources walked in and showed me this my tweet from 2020. Zenith Bank is the most useless bank in Africa. Worst cooks in America star accused of beating her 3-year-old adopted daughter to death. Tweeted about her adopted kid's white privilege a week earlier after taking them out of foster care to complete her black family. There are 89 registered voters at Norman, the homeless shelter. That's 89 votes cast for liberals that they didn't earn. Now multiply this by 100 million nationally and you will see how liberals are stealing elections. Customer said I'm inappropriate because your nipples are showing through your shirt, but it was from my overalls, but okay. Legalize it. Learn how to spell legalize. What's the dumbest thing you've ever heard? I drive for Uber on the weekends, and one time a girl who was in her late 20s told me that I was making her uncomfortable. I haven't said a word the whole trip, so I asked how I could make the situation better. She said she didn't like how I kept playing with the fidget stick in the middle of my car. I drive a manual. She then told me that I didn't need to use that because her car didn't have that, and claimed to be a mechanic. A white neighbor called the police on and traumatized this 9-year-old black child because he saw her spraying insect repellent on trees. He told the police a little black woman with a hoodie is spraying stuff on trees. If you don't leave our children alone. A RNJ resident called police on a 9-year-old black girl using a homemade spotted lanternfly repellent to try and stop the invasive species from harming trees in her neighborhood. The girl's mother and sister described the traumatic experience at a local council meeting. Imagine being racist in Asian restaurant. Sitters attempt to cut Texas man's grass leads to a standoff, a fire and his death, police say. A SWAT officer shot the man after he exited the home with weapons in his hand, according to police in Austin. Mow your lawn. No. I bought a house back in April 2022 and was appraised for $610,000. I remodeled it entirely after the purchase and spent around $250,000. $70,000 just in windows. I did an appraisal headache last week which gave me only $618,000. I'm confused. Please advise. My daughter was graded 7/10 and 14/10 in her homework, just to color some objects, last week and 2 weeks ago, so I wrote in her correspondence book that 14/10 was an error. School replied, Tara's mum, those were dates. We do not grade toddlers. I'm embarrassed for myself. DJ Khaled said these new releases cannot touch the floor. I love when people complain about Twitter. On Twitter. Good point. When the hamburger store gets my order wrong, I always go complain to the dry cleaners. Texas mother lost her home and job and was threatened with jail after asking 8-year-old son to walk home alone. Has anyone been to the bigger statues in this list? Please delete this information. The Statue of Liberty is the tallest man-made structure on Earth and was literally built by America. I can't believe this needs to be said, but if you're bit by a snake, please don't bring the snake to the ER with you. Does milk offend you? I was sat in a coffee shop, minding my own business, but I overheard this on the next table. The waitress said something like, so that's 1 cappuccino with normal milk, and 1 latte with soy milk. There was a man and a woman. The women said, please, can you refrain from using the word normal in a derogatory way like that? Using that phrase that suggests there is something abnormal about the alternative choices. The waitress didn't really know what to do. She sounded serious. I mean, it's not even funny. She then said, please can I have a word with your manager? To be fair, she did apologize and sounded like she actually meant it. She went and got another dude, presumably the manager, who then said they would take the croissants off the bill as an apology. What are your thoughts? Does milk really offend that much? FIFA President Gianni Infantino says he would be open to North Korea hosting a World Cup to help unite the world. Woman stopped at airport while wearing butt plug containing boyfriend's ashes. A woman was stopped by airport security because she was carrying her boyfriend's ashes in a Shrek's toy that was his favorite place. We are excited to announce insulin is free now. Eli Lilly dives after fake Twitter account promises free insulin. Takes Novo Nordisk, Sanofi with it. Elon Musk's new pay-for-play verification system on Twitter shook pharmaceutical mainstay Eli Lilly, LLY, leading LLY stock to skid Friday after a fake account claimed insulin is free now. Update: just learned that Eli Lilly executives are aging and furious at losing $20 billion in market cap from this stunt with Twitter Blue. It's too bad they don't see their own damn insulin price gouging as the actual problem. Karma Lilypad, karma. Posting anonymously because I'm embarrassed to ask. This has caused a lot of debate, and hoping you ladies can shed some clarity on the issue. My husband is sure he is right and is becoming very frustrated and mean to me over this disagreement. So backstory: I had a rhinoplasty done before I got pregnant. I made a comment recently that I wonder whose nose the baby would get, and I said hopefully mine. My husband has a big nose and mine is literally perfect. Well, he is saying either way our baby will have an ugly nose since I had a beak prior to my rhinoplasty, but that doesn't make any sense to me. My nose now is cute. The baby should get my present nose right, not my past nose, even though I haven't had that nose for years or while being pregnant. My husband keeps saying no, it's what you're born with, and compares it to breast implants. But it's not something added to my body, it's a modification that is now part of my DNA and should pass on. SOS. Gen Z party poopers have ruined after work drinks. Is happy hour really that happy? That's the debate on tap as workers settle back into going to the office and potentially grabbing drinks with coworkers at the end of the day. Arkansas's ground crew tried to melt the snow and ice by turning the sprinklers on because the sprinkler water is warmer. I'm literally laughing out loud. My parents are taking the news of my career change well lol. A hand model for bourbon? Are you insane? It's $100,000 a year lol. I would like to apologize for my earlier comments. LMAO, my parents were at a charity auction last night and one of the items was dinner for 10 with Steve Carell. Steve Carell showed up undercover and outbid everyone with $31,000. Now some charity gets $31,000 and Steve Carell doesn't have to hang out with strangers. Win-win. I just got this DM, man. Dude, I'm Veep, my name is Tran. Hey, can you change your username please? I'm transgend, and I find it kind of offensive that you would use it to describe yourself. Bro, my last name is Tran. I'm Veet. Well, you don't have to put it in your username. It could trigger people's emotions if they don't know. Mark Zuckerberg admits he was wrong as he fires 11,000 employees after spending $15 billion on metaverse. In list today. Man doing yard work with family shot dead because his neighbor thought he was a Democrat. An Okarana man has been indicted on one count of aggravated murder for the shooting of his neighbor. Butler County Sheriff says the man, a 26-year-old, shot and killed his 43-year-old neighbor on Saturday. The victim was doing yard work with his family at the time. The victim's son called 911. The victim's wife told the 911 dispatcher, "He's come over like 4 times confronting my husband because he thought he was a Democrat." The man, who the sheriff said has admitted to investigators that he shot his neighbor, is being held on a $950,000 bond. This was a senseless and despicable act. Is Ellen a sperm donor? I've 32 male. Been talking to my wife, 25 female, recently, and we decided that our kid should have the best genes available. We shouldn't be selfish and try to give him/her/they our own. We decided to look for the ideal human specimen so that my wife can carry his child, and came up with a eugenic matrix which combines intelligence, physicality, and character. Ellen came out number 1, though Donald Trump was a close second. Anyone know where I can acquire Ellen's sperm? Thanks in advance. 18-year-olds are not mature enough to make decisions about the future of our nation. Raise the voting age. A kid from my school just got expelled today for pretending to be Russian for 8 months. He pretended he couldn't read, write or talk English. He did good in all his classes because he had all the teachers and principals convinced he just moved from Russia, so they didn't make him do any work. Not a cell phone insight, just people living in the moment. If there wasn't a cell phone insight, how'd the picture get taken? I stopped giving my now almost 6-year-old before the 1-year mark and she's rarely ever sick. My almost 4-year-old has never had a single one, but I feel like she has the worst immune system. It seems like she gets every sickness she comes across. Her diet is healthy and she still breastfeeds at night. I'm second guessing if I'm making the right decision with. Have any of you noticed a correlation between your kids who have had some and kids without any and the strength of their immune system? Husband, wife lose teaching jobs after students find explicit OnlyFans account. Have you ever ate a date? Ate a date? Yes. What's that mean? Like ate their ass? It's a fruit. A Japanese zoo unsuccessfully tried to mate a pair of hyenas for 4 years before realizing both were males. Justin Bieber paid $1.5 million for a Bored Ape NFT. It's now worth $69,000. Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs are sinking in value this month, with the floor price now down 84% from the April peak. Chris Evans. As a 30-year-old, I've basically grown up on your work. From the hot jock, to Captain America, to Lloyd Hansen. It's been a pleasure seeing your career grow and transform. But beyond this, and what makes you stand out from the crowd, you've been the most real and genuine person I watched in Hollywood. Your humility, your love for your family, friends, and Dodger, your sense of responsibility to use your voice for good, and so much more. I truly admire how you've never deviated from your narrative over your 20+ years in the industry. So when you speak, we listen. We believe in it. We believe in you. This is why your fandom loves you, and why we are so loyal. Up until now. This past week, it's like we won the lottery when you finally got the title of Shrek's Eastman alive. Finally, as long as I waited for it, I actually felt glad that you only received it now, because I believe you are at your best right now. And finally you are being recognized. I was so saddened when this pride lasted all 2 days. I have to start by clearing this up. Your fandom is not upset because you're in a relationship. Rather, it was the reveal of your relationship that made us feel betrayed by you. We feel betrayed by the Chris you lead us to believe is you. As a human being, I fully believe that you deserve your privacy and you will obviously only share what you feel comfortable with. During TGM Press Tour, you were asked a question that had nothing to do with your romantic life. You, however, chose to answer with regards to your romantic life. You volunteered this information. Yes, you didn't explicitly say you were single, but you sure did imply it. During your People interview, you once again implied you were single. The publication even reported that you were. Realistically speaking, this should have no bearing on our lives as fans. However, as your loyal fandom, when you speak, we listen. We believe in it. We believe in you. This sense of betrayal is not because you are in a relationship. It is the rude awakening that our belief in you is based on nothing but lies that you've seen selling us. If you could volunteer up lies about something so trivial, what about you is actual real? It's like a kid finding out Santa isn't real. This may come across as completely dramatic to most, but I hope you realize how influential you have been on our lives. Your relationship is really not our business. I personally know nothing of Alba and will never know the dynamics of your relationship. A side note, an average 41-year man looking to settle down, start a family, and live a quiet life at home will most probably not do so with a 25-year-old woman at the start of her career. It is just an indication how you've unfortunately contradicted yourself. I could go on, but I'm going to leave it here. My only hope is that this message will somehow reach you, and that you will understand the impact you have on the lives of your fans, and how you have hurt so many of us. Although I'm sure you will choose to only see the part that support you. Featured comment. Not productive productions. He's probably thinking about other women. The Bible describes the devil as one hell of a musician, but he lost a fiddle duel to Johnny. This technically means the devil went down to Georgia, is a power fantasy.